Hey Stitchy friends, my name is Abby. I go by Mountain Mama Stitches here on YouTube and on Instagram. This is my channel about everything cross stitch related in my life. So if you are new to this neck of the woods, you are very welcome here. If you are a returning friend and viewer, I'm very grateful that you continue to follow my stitching journey, and I hope that you will find some joy or enjoy this little Flosstube extra. So today what we're going to do is I'm going to do a quick finish parade. This is inspired by, so I went to the Harvest Moon Hangout that was hosted by Lindy Stitches. It's an online virtual stitching retreat. I had so much fun, and I cannot wait for the next virtual retreat now that I really truly understand how much fun they can be. One of the things that I did, I was brave, and I participated in the finish parade, which was really fun to see. I had never seen a finish parade before in one of these retreats, and I was not sure what to expect, but once I saw how it went, I was like, yes, sign me up, I'm doing this. And I showed one of my favorite finished projects ever, and I got a lot of really positive feedback on it, and also a lot of my friends were like, wait, how have we never seen this? And I was like, well, it's because, I finished it before I started my Flosstube channel. And they were like, well, gosh, it's so cute. You should have shown it off, right? And so I was like, yeah, I have always kind of wanted to do a finish parade to show off some of my finishes from before I started my channel. I just have never really gotten around to it. And that was really kind of like the little extra encouragement or push I needed to finally buckle down and commit to filming this finish parade. So this is, a little bit different from a normal update video. I'm not going to talk a whole lot about what's going on in my life or what I've been stitching on. I'm just going to kind of show you what I did, what I've done. Um, I will say that I'm pretty short on time. Work is really crazy right now, and that's okay. I'm used to it. So I have kind of a limited window in which to prepare and film this, and so we're going to kind of wing it. Usually I'm a bit more planned out, believe it or not, even though I ramble and do tangents. I still have kind of an overarching idea of what I'm gonna talk about. I sort of have that today, but we're just gonna do it. I'm gonna show you projects that I finished before my Flosstube video channel was created. And then I will also show you the very few finishes I have finished since January 2025, when I started my channel. Another thing is I will, where I can, I have a spreadsheet put up here with the name of the pattern and the designer. I have the fabric information for most of these. I'm not gonna, spend a whole lot of time making sure I include all the details. But one thing I'm very happy to do is if you have any questions about if I forgot to list the designer name, or if I didn't list the fabric and you're really interested in the fabric, or I didn't talk about the flosses I used, please feel free to comment on the video or even reach out to me on Instagram. I'm very happy to share that information. I have it all. I'm just not going to be super, conscientious about making sure I talk about everything, because if I do that, it's going to take longer. And not that I'm, not that I don't, I'm really looking forward to this, but I don't want to, I don't want to get too bogged down in the details. So I'm not going to go in any particular order. I do think I'll start with my fully finished objects because those are on top. So I will do that. Also, I don't know if you can see, well, it's not too bad. This is my craft room. It's also our sunroom. It doesn't have doors. It's open to the whole house. Um, it's a mess, y'all. Luckily you can't see behind the camera. I have been trying to integrate my new side quest of Stitchy Bling beading and into my craft space, and it's getting worse before it gets better. Let's put it that way. Okay, so this is the first one I'll show you. It is so cute. So this is a blue penguin, sometimes called a fairy penguin or a little penguin. If you've followed my channel for any, sustained amount of time, you've probably heard me talk about penguins. My son is absolutely obsessed with penguins because when we went to Australia in 2024, we went to Amazing Penguin Preserve, and got to be kind of like up close and personal with these amazing little penguins. They're so tiny. They are truly blue. They are so cute and so just, they have so much character. And he just fell in love, and he has become obsessed with penguins, all kinds of penguins. And so he in particular connected with this one penguin that just stood in front of us. You couldn't touch the penguins or get near them per se, but we were on a local boardwalk, and the penguins were scurrying along. Every night they come home from the ocean and go up to their nests. And in these, it's called a penguin parade because it's in these like big groups of penguins. It's so cute. I'll link a YouTube video of it because literally, if you have never seen this, you need. Oh, hey, my cat's back. You need to see it. It's amazing. I'll put it in the comments. So there was one particular penguin that just stood in front of us and made eye contact with my son for like 10 minutes. And he just would not leave. He was like, my son was 9 at the time, and he was like, this penguin is like my soulmate. It was so cute. He named him Bob. So I found this little blue penguin pattern. Let me see if I can figure out who it's by. Okay. It's by Gumleaf Stitch Design, who I believe is an Australian designer. I got it off Etsy. It was a very adorable, easy to stitch pattern. A little bit of back stitch, but not too bad. Maybe 6 or 7 colors of DMC. So then I did the penguin, and then I added Phillip Island 2024 because that's where we were and that's the year. And I wrote Bob because I had to. And so this sits on my son's bedside table. He also has a stuffed penguin that he calls Bob. And now he's 10 now, and this is like still an obsession. He's a little bit like cooler about it, but he still wants to be a penguin scientist or a penguin veterinarian or a zookeeper. And I'm just helping him lean into that. I love it so much. I love that he is so passionate about it. We do a lot of penguin themed things in my house, including stitching. Okay, so this was one of the, okay, so I'm probably not going to tell you when I finish things. I'm happy to tell you if you want me to. I can tell you vaguely. I'm just not going to look up the dates. They're all here, but I don't think that's that important, right? I will say though that this is one of the first cross stitch projects I finished when I got back into stitching. I finished this in early 2024, probably January or February. And it's just, it's just finished in this oval, it's, plastic oval frame. It's a cheapo frame. I think I got it at Michael's maybe. I just thought it looked cute. And this is a reference to the Lord of the Rings. This is Hobbit meals because hobbits eat multiple times a day, and so do children. So I have this up in our kitchen area, and it makes me smile. It is by Alaton Embroidery off Etsy. I have actually done 2 of her patterns. Oh my gosh, my cat is gonna cause chaos again. Y'all loved the last video with him in it, so I'm just gonna let it be. But man, he is a little chaos monster. But there's that one. All just DMCs. I don't think I had many of the called for. I don't think I had many of the called for, so I just kind of substituted in the general theme of what was called for with what I had in my stash at the time. I had a very limited stash. Why does every cat insist upon showing his butthole to the camera? Why is that a thing? Oh my gosh, don't knock it over. Okay. Oh, this one I made for my son. I stitch a lot for my kids. I'm realistic. I know that they probably aren't going to take it into their adult lives, but it makes me happy, and it makes them happy in the moment. So my son is a huge Cleveland Browns fan. I care almost zero amount of cares about the Cleveland Browns, but he is a huge fan. So that's fine with me. I don't know why. It's very painful. And I found this little gnome pattern, and I stitched this for him for Christmas in 2024. It was a very easy stitch. This is by Nenny Design Crafts off Etsy. It is full coverage through here, but it's really easy. The only thing I would change if I were to do it again, which I won't, but knowing now, I would have changed, this is 310. I would have changed that to 3371 maybe, like a dark brown instead of black, because the Cleveland Browns are brown and orange. But other than that, it's really cute. He loves it. Again, it sits on his desk. He's a huge fan. He begged me for that. He begged, and he helped me pick out the pattern. It was cute. Okay. Here's a pillow. I actually have finished this in 2025. You can't really see it. It ghosts a little bit. Let me see if I can find. So it says, "Don't obey in advance." It's a cute little pillow. This was a freebie from, oh shoot, it's not on here. Heretic Designs, or I'll have, I got it off. I can't remember her exact designer name. It's like Heretic Stitch Designs or Heretic Design, something like that. She has really cute little designs. And so this is just, it was a really quick little small. This was the first pillow finish I ever did. It's a little less full than I would like it to be. But I did it all with silky threads. The fabric is Ween Beans. No, that's the name of the color. I'm gonna forget. I have a lot. I've done a bunch of smalls in this fabric. If you really want to know, I'll let you know. I just have to look it up. It's not on this one. This is all my 2024 starts, so I'm gonna wing it on these in the 2025 finishes, or 2024 finishes, 2025 finish. So yeah, I didn't put my initials or date on that, but that's okay. That was a fun one, and I learned how to pillow finish. Obviously, didn't do a great job. The hardest part is any of the hand sewing. I gotta fix that. All right, here's another thing I finished for my son. Oh, sorry. It's muggy today here. It's not very hot. It just feels like you're walking through a sauna that's just a little colder than usual. It's really weird. So this is a pattern I did for my son. We have a lot of Harry Potter love in this family, and we have a lot of complicated feelings about it. So we do Harry Potter themed things. We read the books, and we also talk about how artists and creators can create amazing stuff and also be problematic individuals, or do problematic. Their behavior can be harmful or problematic. Let me put it that way. So we talk a lot about that, and it's something that I've struggled with, but you know, I do my best to balance it with my kids. So that's what we do. He went on this kick where he really, really wanted to be a Slytherin when he was like 7 or 8, maybe. And I think he just kind of got a kick out of being a rebel. And so I found this pattern. I just thought it was so cute because it kind of reminds me of my son. He has this really gentle soul and a sweet soul, and he can also be a little bit of a rebel and a little bit of, you know what, sometimes, like all kids. Yeah, I really enjoyed this one too. It's just on an Aida of some sort, and I finished it. It's a flat, like flat finish. On what's that called? Matte board, or foam board. This one actually feels like foam board. Actually. It looks like a little bit like foam board. So that's that one. That one was a trio, actually. It came with 3 patterns, and the pattern designer is Woody Stitch Co. on Etsy. You'll note, like, I did a lot of Etsy patterns in 2024. Not all Etsy, but a lot. And in the past, when I had stitched in, like, the previous chapters of my life, I had used Etsy primarily to get patterns. And it wasn't until I really got deep into Flosstube and its community that I realized there were other, like, ways to get patterns, and that designers sold their patterns, like, directly from their websites. And then I kind of started to figure out who my favorites were and things like that. So you'll see there's quite an evolution here. And that doesn't mean I don't stitch Etsy, Etsy designers now. I do, but I think I have a much more kind of like diverse style, or more eclectic style, I guess you could say. So this was my gateway drug back into cross stitch. This is the first thing I stitched in January, like literally January 1st, 2025. I had bought this as a kit off, was it off Etsy maybe? I can't remember. I had a kit, it had the hoop, it had the fabric, the floss, the, felt for the back, everything. And it had been sitting there. I actually had bought it during COVID. So it had been like sitting in my craft pile, my craft box, my craft shelves, my abandoned craft shelves for a really long time. And I was needing to do something with my hands. And I was drawn back. I was like, hey, I'll do this. And it reminded me how much I truly love cross stitch. And how, just therapeutic it is, and how good it is for me, and how much I love creating with my hands, and I love creating. I just love it. So this was the start of it all. This is how I got to where I am now. Set me off on that path. This stays in my office. I actually brought it home a couple months ago in order to do a finished parade that I never really got around to at that time. But it stays in my office, and I've actually had several people comment on it that they appreciate. They appreciate seeing it, or they appreciate they think it's pretty. My dog is loose in the house today. You all also commented on how cute you thought she was when she was outside causing chaos, so she's going to come in here now. This is Lily. What are you doing, girl? You're fine. Lay down. Lily currently has a... Hey, you want to say hi? Walk over my computer. Hi. Lily kind of smells like dead animal currently. She had been rolling in something. We gave her a bath. She went back and rolled it in again. We can't figure out where it is to get rid of it. So I had to get wipes overnight delivered on Amazon, pet wipes. So we could at least like wipe her down when she can continue to do this. So it's a little bit better, but like there's just a tinge of dead animal smell on her. So I'm like, ooh, it's not like I'm not letting her sleep in my bed right now. Let's put it that way. Okay, this is one of the early things I did as well in 2024 when I returned to stitching. It's so cute. I love it so much. This is actually a pattern from the Caterpillar Cross Stitch like freebie booklet of patterns. It has like maybe 10 patterns in it. They're all really cute, very beginner friendly. And my daughter was really into butterflies at the time. She still is, honestly. And I stitched these are not the called for colors. Again, I just kind of used what I had on hand because I had cross stitched in, like I said, in the previous years and previous chapters of my life. So I did have some DMC like stocked up from that, not a ton, but I just, used what I could find that felt like it coordinated well. It didn't necessarily match the exact color theme of the pattern, but I was okay with that. And so I really enjoy this. My daughter really loves it. I finished it. I had so much fun finishing this, and I have since finished something else like this as well. I had this fabric just sitting around, and I had these plastic cheapo costume jewelry pearls that I wore for like a something like a costume thing or something, and I was like, I'm never gonna wear these again because I'm not a pearl person. And then the lace I had gotten from my Buy Nothing group. I actually had inherited a bunch of I had won or been gifted like a whole box full of really beautiful vintage lace from an elderly lady who was trying to, pass along her craft supplies. And I continue to dive into that box regularly for all kinds of different things. This was just one of the examples I got. I mean, it's so pretty. Some of them are a little bit yellowed, but I've tried to kind of, call those out, and everything else is just really, really kind of beautiful, antique-y looking lace or vintage lace. So this is a fun one. It hangs in my daughter's room. She really loves it. And kind of the green kind of matches her, decor. Get some water. I'm a little hot. Oh, Lily, you smell. Okay. Oh, this one's fun. Okay. So this one, I finished finally. I finished this in 2025, I believe. I started this in like 2019, I think. Maybe 2018. Like I started this a long time ago. This is an Etsy pattern. Let me see if I can find it. I'm gonna have to look that up if anyone wants it. It's an Etsy pattern. I completely changed the color scheme and just used what I had in stash at the time, and I loved it. But I didn't finish it. It was like it had like never and the S and the H and then like PER. Like I had like a third of it, and so I finally buckled down and finished it this past year. It does, unfortunately. I don't know if you can see them. I used, as the novice I was at the time, I used pencil to grid, and not realizing that it wouldn't come out of the white Aida. And I washed and soaked and washed and soaked this thing so many times, but I think the pencil had just been on there for so long, and maybe it would have, even if I'd done it, washed it immediately, it might not have come off. But learn from me. Excuse me, learn from me, and don't use pencil to grade your fabric. But I had fun finishing it. It's got this like pretty muted teal on the back, and this is going to go into my office as well. This is a Lady Dot Creates, whatever those are called. It's going to go into my office, sit on the bookshelf once I go back to work in person. Okay, so this is a legacy finish, as Jess from Sloan Stitches would call it. This is an oldie. I finished this one in 2018. I was on a little bit of a stitching kick in like 2018, 2019. And that's, you'll see a few of those things here. This one has a naughty word in it. So if you don't want to see that, look away. I'll let you know. I'll cue you when it's safe to look back. If I can, I'll blur it. I don't know if I can blur it in the editing software I use, but I'll try. If I can't, sorry, not sorry. I have the vocabulary of a well-educated sailor, is what we like to say. Okay, it is one of my favorites, though. And also, you're going to laugh when you see the actual finishing job, because it's very clear that I had no idea what I was doing. And that's okay. We got to learn somehow. Here you go. Hopefully that doesn't, hopefully YouTube doesn't select that as my cover photo for this video. But this is a fun one. I had a lot of fun doing it. The rose is so pretty. I love the juxtaposition of this kind of like raunchy. I love that. I like potty mouth, inappropriate phrases with like beautiful, refined designs. I get such a kick out of it. I can't help myself. I'm one of those people that like stitched the like subversive cross stitch patterns from their books and stuff. I loved them. So this hangs on my bedroom wall. It is a point of pride, and I'm not going to apologize for it because I love it so much. I had a lot of fun doing it. And this is just a random frame I think I got from Goodwill or something, or I don't even know. Pretty hefty. And it's, you can see like it is not a good frame. Like you can see the wrinkles, you can see it's not pulled tight. I have no idea how I actually finished this. Like I don't remember what I did. No clue. I gotta open it up and figure it out, but I'm afraid it'll all fall out. So, not a great finishing job, but I am totally okay with it. It's not meant to be a piece of art in the traditional sense. So there's that one. I'm running out of places to put things when I'm done. Hold on. Hopefully it doesn't fall over. Oh, okay. So this is my favorite finish, like my favorite pattern I've stitched, my favorite finish. And this is the one I showed at Harvest Moon Hangout, where everyone was like, wait, how have we not seen this before? Okay. Oh, drum roll, please. Oh, I love her so much. This is Squirrel with a pearl earring. I just love this kind of like tongue-in-cheek, punny play on, classic art. I just love it. And this is by Happy Sloth, who is an Etsy designer, but who has a ton of really great patterns. Like they are probably one of my favorite like Etsy-based designers, just for the sheer like cleverness and creativity and humor that they put into their designs. And so I have several others from that shop that I have either waiting to be stitched or that I'm going to give as little gifts. A lot of them are like on the smaller side, which is nice too. I think they're very beginner friendly. This one was a bit heftier. I think it had 7,000 or 8,000 stitches in it, maybe. Maybe I'm wrong, but I just love her so much. She sits on the shelf right above my stitching spot, and I admire her daily. I'm just gonna let you bask in the beauty. I mean, it's so clever. It's so clever. Oh, I just want to stare at it. I love it so much. And this is stitched on, I believe it's a 32 or a 36 count persimmon linen by Fiber on a Whim, which is really beautiful. And I have the other half of that fat quarter that I am just waiting for the perfect project to stitch on. Perfect pattern. really pretty. I love this pattern on this fabric. I think is really unique with the colors and everything. I love the. I mean, it's a really well designed pattern, and it's so clever. It's just so funny. This designer has a couple of other squirrel classic art, like classic um, art, pieces, like American Gothic. They have, which is like the two farmers, the man and wife with the pitchfork. Um, they designed squirrels for that one. I believe there's a Van Gogh squirrel. I can't remember, but one more time, folks, just because she deserves to be celebrated. Still, absolutely one of my favorites that I've ever done. I started this one, and I am not a monogamous stitcher. I started this one, and I could not put it down. I stitched it until I finished it, which I don't think I've ever done with anything else. Like maybe I picked up something little here and there, but I like pushed and pushed. I wanted it done. It was so cute. And it was a lot of fun to stitch. There is a little tiny bit of confetti, but nothing major. It's really manageable. Okay. So here is another one that I stitched for my daughter's room that I really adore. This is another freebie from the Caterpillar Cross Stitch booklet, like pattern booklet that you get for signing up for their newsletter. Again, this is early on, I didn't have all the DMCs, so I just kind of winged it. No pun intended. Yes, pun intended. And just picked colors I thought were close enough and I thought looked good together and were cheerful and pretty. So my daughter loves this one too. I took it down off her wall. I took it down off her wall previously when I thought I would do a finished parade. I was kind of like trying to collect things. And she's like, Mommy, where's my bird? I was like, oh, honey, okay, you want it back? She's like, yes, put it on my wall. So, and she talks about it all the time. It's really cute. It was very easy to stitch too. Very simple, straightforward. I think I did this one before I used markup, maybe. Like, so it was okay, In other words, I stitched it from paper, which I never do. Let's see, do I have any other? A couple more things. Now, I will say that I've gifted a lot of my finishes. I haven't decided how I'm going to handle those. I do have pictures of most of them. I don't know if I'm going to like tack on like a little extra video at the end and just like show the pictures on my computer and record my screen. I'm not really sure. I don't really want to go through them and then like put them in the video while I talk about them because I just don't think that's going to be very fun for y'all. So this is a finish that is not mine. This is my mom's. And I did show this on my very, very, very first Flosstube, but I'll show it again. This is something my mom stitched for me. Obviously, I was 9 years old. And I'm pretty sure this is around the time I also asked her to teach me how to cross stitch. I don't know if it was because of this or I saw her doing it, or maybe she was in a cross stitch kick and so therefore I wanted to cross stitch, but I'm pretty sure I was around 9 or 10 maybe when she taught me how to cross stitch. And I've cross stitched off and on since then. My mom doesn't cross stitch anymore. She has a hard time seeing, like she has cataracts and she's just aging. So has a little bit of a harder time seeing and doesn't have a whole lot of confidence in her ability to actually follow the chart and stuff. But she's an avid knitter. She's been on a knitting kick. She owned a yarn store. First of all, my mom owned a local yarn store, and yes, bask in the privilege and amazingness of that. But after she retired from that, she took a bit of a break from knitting, and she's recently been back on a kick. And so far, she's knitted 17 pairs of socks this fall. To be retired. So yeah, I just thought I'd share that because it's cute. I'm pretty sure this is like one of those Laura Ashley fabrics that were really popular in the 90s, right? And when I was home, maybe last year, I can't remember, I saw this. I was like, can I take this, Mom? Because like, oh, look at that, it's so perfect. And so I keep it in my craft room. Okay, one more naughty word. This one I finished in a day. I messed up. It's okay. It was meant to be a gift. I love the saying. It was meant to be a gift for someone I love very much, who shares an appreciation for the F-bomb. We bonded. It's my aunt. We bonded over that. Unfortunately, when I went to finish it, I totally blew it. And so I was like, well, crap. It was one of my earlier hoop finishes, and it just looks so bad. It's like I cut it wrong. Basically, I mismeasured when I cut it, and didn't double check it, and I cut it too close down here. So then I couldn't center it in the hoop. And the smaller hoops I had were too small. So I just was like, oh, well, here goes nothing. And I keep it on my wall in my bedroom just because. I had considered taking it out of the hoop, like unfinishing it, and then putting it into a pillow. I'm curious if anyone has any advice on that, because like I think I have enough margin to do a pillow. I think I could wing it. Like I think I could do it. I know I don't have a ton of margin. Like obviously down here in this corner would be the closest. But I bet I could do it. I'm just trying to decide if it's worth risking or if I just should keep it wonky as it is and recognize that this is part of my growth and learning as a stitcher. Right? That's what we do. We grow and we learn. Okay, so that's all the fully finished objects I think I have here in my possession. I have many more that I've gifted. Like I said, I might show those a little bit later at the end of this video. But let's move on to like finished stitches, but finished stitches that have not been fully finished. And I'm just gonna fan myself. The only challenge with this being my craft room is because of the windows, it gets real warm in here. And the air conditioning vent, the only one in the room, is covered by that couch that my dog is so sweetly sleeping on. All right, I'm just gonna pull from my little box of finished, waiting to be fully finished things. I'm gonna pull in order, which probably means that my most recent finishes are gonna be shown first, and that's okay, whatever. But you might recognize some of these, right? Okay. Oh, here's my Mandalorian. I love him so much. So I stitched this as a Father's Day gift for my partner. Our family is big in Star Wars, especially the Mandalorian, and I just love this pattern. It's by Alaton Embroidery as well. Again, that's an Etsy shop, and it was so much fun to stitch. It was so easy and just kind of felt like it was stitching itself, honestly. The colors are amazing. This fabric is a Fortnite fabric. I can't remember the name of it, but it's, you know, obviously not being made anymore. I got it off a de-stash table at a retreat. I was very lucky. It's beautiful. I have a lot left. I can't wait to use it on like the perfect pattern. No pressure. Anyway, there's my Mandalorian. I showed him a couple videos ago. I finished him, and I finished him like a day or two after Father's Day, which was I was very impressed with, by the way. But I haven't fully finished him yet. But when I do fully finish him, I will put him next to my partner's desk, which is right here on the wall. Oh, that reminds me. There's a fully finished object on the wall over there. Should I get it? I should get it. Hold, please. Okay, I'm back. This is something I made my partner Erin for Christmas this past year. We often use this GIF or meme when we're asking each other how things are going. How's your day going, honey? I get this in return. And I'm like, oh, okay, got it. And I do the same thing to him. So I thought it was cute. I got it off Etsy. I don't remember the designer, but I finished it pretty quickly. It was really easy. Just use the DMC. What is the fabric? I don't remember. I'm sorry. I think it's a Digi Stitchery, honestly. Like the ones from Etsy that they have really cool fabrics. They print on one side, and then the other side is it's just white. I think that's what it is. But yeah, this is fine. And so it stays by his desk, and he gets a kick out of it. Yeah, it was cute. It was fun to stitch. I paint for the hoop. I did paint it black with just like craft paint, and I really like that. And I realized that I want to probably do that again in the future, like paint the hoop some color with craft paint, because I felt like it really just because of the black outlining and the gray that kind of is, you know, all over. I just thought it looked really cool and looked a little bit more like maybe finished than the raw wooden hoop, which is usually how I finish things in a hoop. While I was up getting that, I remembered I had another finished this is the problem, right? Like they're like on shelves everywhere, or they're like in little boxes waiting for something to be done to them, or yeah, you know how it is, right? Okay, so you've all probably seen this one too, and you're gonna laugh because I still haven't finished it all the way. But this is a little pillow I made for my son. It's called Emotional Support Penguin. It's an Etsy pattern. I love it so much. I made it for his birthday. He is a huge fan. It says, "You're doing a good job." I just think it's so cute. Um, and I finished as a pillow, and I used this beautiful penguin fabric I got off Etsy. And here's the little blue penguin or fairy penguin right there. I made sure that was in the center. So he loves it, and he regularly was like, "Mom, why haven't you finished my pillow yet?" And the reason is I hate the hand stitching part. I hate the hand stitching part. I'm not I don't have enough experience with it yet to like have nice, consistent, neat stitches, and it always looks wonky, and I always have to redo it, and I get very frustrated, and so I avoid it. And that's where we're at. Someone tell me to just finish it because this is ridiculous. It's all otherwise it's complete, and it's so cute. And he's like, "I just want to put it in my room, Mom. What is wrong with you?" And he's used to me, so he knows this is what happens, but it's still, Okay, so here is one that you've probably seen if you've seen any of my recent videos. Sorry, brain fart. Oh, I love this one too. So this is I Run a Tight Shipwreck. I had an absolute blast stitching this. It's stitched with two Pirate Robin flosses that go with this amazing Picture This Plus opalescent fabric. You can see the shimmer. It has like orange and purple, and I placed it on the fabric intentionally to kind of make it look like the octopus like ink. Octopuses they ink, right? I think they do. I know squids do, but I keep forgetting to check. Oh, I feel silly. But yeah, it looked like he was kind of swimming in his own ink there. And then I put everything else in the royal purple, and I just love it. I love it. This was so much fun to stitch. It was so easy. It was so quick. I know I inspired at least one other person to stitch this, and I'm so glad I did because it's just adorable. Again, this is one of those kind of like tongue-in-cheek, funny, punny things that I love, and this is going to go up in our kitchen probably, just because it feels so apropos for our family and the chaos that we thrive in. I think we thrive in it. Um, and also, I feel like the chaos is like the kitchen embodies our chaos. It's like how we enter and leave the house, right? So in the mornings we're like, let's go, and in the evenings we come home, we like dump our stuff everywhere, and it just belongs there, right? We are we're your average family. We are far from perfect. We got a lot of neurodivergence, neurospiciness running around this family, and we embrace it and we do what we got to do, and we have a lot of fun. Okay, I love this one too. And so this one I finished earlier this year as well. This was a huge finish for me. This was one of the first projects I had started when I really got into Flosstube and, other types of fabrics, like fancy fabrics, etc. So this is the Love Is Here sampler. I think it's Studio HMP is the designer. I can't remember. It's off Etsy. Super cute. Again, I used whatever I had on hand from DMC, and it worked out well, and it looks amazing on this fabric. Every time I show this, I'm like, oh, so good. It's a simple little sampler. It was my first kind of foray into samplers like this, like my first house and things like that. And it was a nice, approachable size. The border was easy. I just had a lot of fun with it. And this fabric is so good. I think I want to buy more of it because it's so good. So this is Magical Gray by Zweigart. It's a linen. It's 36 count. And when you stitch on it, it's like a chocolatey gray brown. It's gray. It's gray, but it has a brown tone to it. And I think it's called Magical Gray, and I think it truly, like, everything just pops on it. It's so wild how well that like colors show up, and they look really, really vibrant on it. I had one more piece of this, and I just started the Stitch Crypt exclusive pattern from Harvest Moon Hangout, which has an owl on it, and it's actually, the called for fabric is charcoal gray or chalkboard gray. I can't remember what it's called, by Zweigart. So it's more of a true like black gray, like a deeper, darker, more saturated gray, but it still looks really good on that magical gray, and I'm excited about it. Okay, so after this one, I think everything's gonna be new to you, and I'm so excited to show off some of it. Okay, so this one I finished very early in 2025. This is a Fine Frog Stitching Stitch Along, Femurs and Fungi. It was from 2024. I did the thing I do, and I didn't finish it during the stitch along, or even within 6 months of the stitch along. But I had fun with it. I finished it. My son wants it on his wall, and it's so vibrant and amazing. The fabric is the called for Witches Garden Crafts. This is how I first was exposed to Witches Garden Crafts, which is a dyer that sells on Etsy, and I absolutely adore them. They're one of my favorites, like small batch dyers, small business dyers. I do think they're starting to sell linen, maybe? Is that true? I thought I saw someone was like, oh, maybe I'm wrong, actually. They do sell Adas, and they sell Ada up to 20 count, and I adore their fabrics. Okay, here's another one that I absolutely adore. This is probably second place in my favorite patterns ever stitched hierarchy or ranking. Oh, it's so good. Okay. I love it. Oh my god, isn't it so cute? So y'all have met my orange cat. And this pretty much sums him up. This is an RC housewife pattern. And when I saw it, I immediately was like, yep, that's going to have to happen, because he destroys my plants, as cats tend to do. And I just thought it was so clever. I'm going to try to show more of it. Oh, isn't it funny? I love it so much. And this is another one that once I started, I couldn't put it down. Like I stitched it until it was finished, which is a little different for me. But I loved it. I loved it. I did not use the called for colors. I think they called for, some over dyes. I think, gosh, it's been a while. Sorry, I hit my mic. I finished this in 2024, like over a year ago. So what I did was, I think some of it is, no, it's not. All of it is over dyed, but it's different over dyed than what was called for. It's kind of like what I already had, but I followed the general like color scheme, I think, as best I could. It's just not all exactly what was called for. It's just the same general, So like, for example, the cat, this darker brown here, I think or this darker, golden brown color was a little darker than what was called for. And it does look a little too dark probably for a ginger kitty, but it worked fine and it looked nice with all the other colors. And so I just went with it. And that's fine. I love it. It was so much fun to stitch, you all. It's deceptively heavy stitching. Like, I was like, wait, there's that many stitches in this, like, because like this is all full coverage, right? And then like this, and these leaves are beefy in the border. Oh, it was so much fun. Now, I will say, my ginger kitty Pie he has mostly white whiskers, and he has one black whisker on each side of his face. And so I did alter the the little whiskers a little bit and made one of them black on each side, which I love. It reminds me of him. So just love that one. I need to get that one framed. I keep, like, when I find frames at thrift stores or whatnot, I keep thinking I'm gonna find one that works, and then I'll bring it home and it's like not quite right. So this one may actually end up professionally framed. Oh, I don't know. It's so small. I hate to do it. Hate to spend the money on it, but we'll see. It does need framed because I need this on my wall because I just adore it. And this will go right by my stitchy spot too. I could make it into a pillow. It's just a little big for a pillow. Yeah, it's a pillow's not gonna work. I don't know. If you have any ideas, bring them on. Okay. My final finish to show you. It is so gorgeous, y'all. So this is probably number 3 in my favorites of all my finishes. This is Bushland Quaker by Mojo Stitches. Oh, look at that. Oh, it's so much. So this is Bushland Quaker by Mojo Stitches. And it is gorgeous. So Mojo Stitches is I love her designs. She's an amazing designer. She's Australian. And my son and I went to Australia in May 2024. So I did a little Mojo May. I have a little Mojo May. And I started this pattern, and I started another pattern by her called In the Library, which I still haven't finished. And this one I stitched like basically the whole trip. So, you know, a long trip, like 30 hours of travel. So I stitched this a little bit before. I started it before I left. I stitched it almost exclusively on that trip. And then I finished it when I got home. So it has so much just meaning to me, right? Like, I remember what flight we were on when I was working on this. I remember where we were when I was working on this. And like, I have a picture. I'll try to remember to show it. It's on my Instagram. It's like one of my first pictures. I have a picture of my view as I stitched on this when we were in Sydney, and I'm like looking at the Sydney Harbor and the Sydney Opera House while stitching this, and I'm just like, oh, just like so many amazing memories. This one I am getting professionally framed. This is one that I really want to. I want this one to be well preserved and well cared for. Um, I don't know for sure, but I wouldn't be surprised if eventually my son, when I pass away, I think he might want this one because he remembers it as well. Maybe. I could be wrong. Might end up in a thrift store someday, folks. You never know, right? I just love it so much. Isn't it beautiful? Oh, I just love it. So this is Bush and Quaker. She has another one. She has a second version that's very pretty as well. I have considered stitching both of them, like, and having them be companion pieces, but I think I'm gonna just stick with this one. I have other patterns I want to stitch by her that I just love. This did call for, I believe it called for overdyes. Was it Cottage Garden Threads? I wouldn't be surprised if it was Cottage Garden Threads because she does use a lot of Cottage Garden Threads in her designs. I can't remember for sure though. But what I did was I just did a DMC conversion. So it's all DMC. The fabric is Atomic Ranch fabrics. It was my first time stitching on Atomic Ranch. I think it's 32 count. And so it ended up bigger. So I think hers called for 36 or 40. Like that was what was called for. And so this ended up a little bit bigger, and it's kind of an awkward size, which is why I'm going to have to get it professionally framed, and it's totally worth it to me because it's just too beautiful not to. And then I put the initials and year down there. Let's just bask in its glory for a little bit longer. So, I love it so much. Every time I pull it out, I'm like, wow, I can't believe I made this. I'm sure, I hope all of you have something that you have stitched that you look at and you're like, wow, I can't believe I did that. I can't believe I created this. And that's how I feel about this one. It's just so beautiful. And it's all different flora and fauna from Australia. So it's very meaningful. Australia is very important to me. I love it dearly. And hopefully I'll get to go back sometime soon. There you go. One more time. All right. So I think that's like all of it. I mean, it seems like so few projects, right, in the grand scheme of things. I've been stitching for 21 months, like obsessively stitching, like, like every night stitching, mostly every night stitching since January 2025. I finished 29 projects in 2024, and obviously many of those were not here. Again, a lot of them are gifts, like ornaments or little keepsakes that I gifted gladly and with joy. I'll decide what to do about that. Maybe after I finish this, I'll pop back up and be like, "Hey, I'm back," or maybe I'll put them on Instagram. That's a good idea. That's what I'll do. So I'm gonna make an Instagram post with pictures of all of those little finishes that I've gifted And that way I don't have to take up, make this video any longer than it already is. It's already 51 minutes. That's plenty of time. And that way you can see them. And if you have questions about them, you can feel free to reach out. But that way I don't have to you don't have to stare at photos flashing up on my screen, which would be boring. Okay. Well, thanks for tuning in. I would love to hear what you think. If you have any favorites, I want to hear what they are. It's really fun. This was really fun to pull out all of my all of my finished things, and just be reminded of um, the beautiful and funny and ironic and punny and tongue-in-cheek things that I've created that have brought me joy, both in the process of making them and in the process of enjoying them as they are displayed in my home. And I wish that on everyone, even if it's not stitching, whatever it is that you do that makes you feel like you've created something beautiful or meaningful. I just think that's such an important part of life. So I'm going to leave it at that. Thanks for tuning in. I want to hear your comments. Please let's leave some comments below. And I'll be back sooner or later with another update, and I'll see you then. All right. Thanks for tuning in. Bye, everyone.